everybody, welcome to the Randall Sports Wrap-Up. I'm your host, Seth Hagan. And happy Halloween to you too. That's how Ichiro says it. Alrighty, staying with the Halloween theme, I've compiled a short list of the scariest things in sports. And go. Slow motion injury replays. Will Muschamp tirades. Brian Van Gorder's mustache. Chipper Jones's hamstring. Georgia running backs graduation rates. Nick Saban. Just Nick Saban. The growing trend of Leonidas beards. RG3's quarterback history knowledge.
I try not to limit myself to comparing myself to one person. You try to blend your game from everybody else's game. So you can be elusive like a Vic or a Randall Cunningham, or you can, manage the game and manage the pocket like Peyton Manning or Tom Breeze.
Replacement refs. Drunk Razorback fans. Gene Chiswick's downward spiral. Kentucky football. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Mike Gundy.
I'm a man.
And Dan Hawkins.
It's Division I football!
I have to say though, nothing is much scarier than the unwarranted attention we give the Dallas Cowboys. If they choke again, I suggest inserting a feeding tube. Oh, Dallas, how do you drag us in every year? From billion-dollar stadiums to egregious payrolls, no one underachieves quite like the Cowboys. Let's take a look at other iconic sports franchises and their resumes since the Cowboys' last Super Bowl in 1996. The Los Angeles Lakers. Since 1996, the Lake Show has won 5 titles and 7 Western Conference championships, all while only missing the playoffs once. Now, some of you purists out there might argue that it's easier to make the NBA playoffs. Typical. But fair enough. Let's move on. The New York Yankees. Since 1996, the Bronx Bombers have also won 5 World Series and 7 pennants during a span that included 9 consecutive division titles. Things are looking pretty bleak, Jerry, but I'm not done yet. Jimmy Johnson. I'm kidding, y'all know I don't talk about NASCAR. My point is, America's favorite team has fallen woefully behind. As a matter of fact, 5 different NFL franchises have won multiple Super Bowls since Dallas's run in the mid-90s. And in that same time period, the Cowboys have barely mustered multiple playoff appearances. But it's okay, Jerry. You just keep on trying to prove to us that Tony Romo will get you that next Lombardi trophy. And that'll be right around the time you get done replacing the world's biggest flat screen. The NBA regular season tips off Tuesday, and that's when the Miami Heat will begin their title defense against the Boston Celtics at home. The game holds special significance because it'll be the first time Ray Allen faces his former team after leaving for greener pastures this summer. You get it? Because the Celtics are... pun intended. The Heat's ability to lure Allen makes them an even bigger threat from downtown. With his addition, Miami has 6 players who shoot better than 35% from beyond the arc. The bad news for the rest of the league is that none of those 6 include LeBron, Wade, or Bosh. Good luck! The only position Miami was unable to fill during the offseason was at center. Rookie Justin Hamilton from LSU is the only man on the roster over 7 foot. That issue looms large if a postseason date with the Lakers is in their future. The champs don't face much competition from the rest of the Southeast. The Hawks are the most formidable threat, but Atlanta is middle of the pack at best, with Joe Johnson gone to Brooklyn. Josh Smith and Al Horford will keep them competitive, but if someone doesn't step up on the perimeter, the Hawks will be one-dimensional. Perhaps the front court tandem of Devin Harris and rookie John Jenkins from Vanderbilt can get it done. John Wall got some much-needed help over the summer when Nene Hilario joined the Wizards. Nene can join forces with Emeka Okafor for a quick backcourt that will aid Wall and draft steal Bradley Beal out of Florida. The X factor for Washington will be if Trevor Ariza can finally start playing up to his potential and paycheck, which is the second highest on the roster. Charlotte and Orlando are in similar spots. Both are rebuilding and haven't had much luck from the draft. The Magic received a boatload of players in the Dwight Howard trade, but don't expect miracles. This team will have little to no chemistry this year. Charlotte had the worst record in NBA history last year. The best that they can hope for is to build around their young leaders and get Michael Kidd-Gilchrist from Kentucky involved early and often. Starting from top to bottom in the Southwest, we again find the Spurs on top in the semi-loaded division. I know, but you can't fault San Antonio for re-energizing the supporting cast behind the big 3 of Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili. Like it or not, they're still a top 5 squad, and last year's run proves they're not going anywhere. Barring injuries, expect to see the Spurs where you're used to seeing them, near the top. The Dallas Mavericks are a bit of a mystery team. After missing out on Darren Williams, they loaded up on good role players to fill missing spots, especially the one left by Jason Terry. Again, the issue here will be chemistry. The Mavs have first-round playoff exits sandwiching their 2011 Finals win, and their roster shakeup only adds question marks. The Mavs look like a playoff team, but I can't guarantee it. The Memphis Grizzlies have been a competitive team over the last few seasons, but but the momentum is slowing, and losing O.J. Mayo to the Mavs didn't help. They still have their core of Marc Gasol, Rudy Gay, and Zach Randolph. The key will be if Randolph can stay healthy and if Mike Conley can step in and fill O.J. Mayo's shoes. Houston and New Orleans will both struggle this year, but both franchises have laid solid foundations for the future. Both teams need to establish their two new duos, Anthony Davis and Austin Rivers in New Orleans, and the newly forged teaming of James Harden and Jeremy Lin in Houston. Neither team will make the playoffs, but I'm optimistic that at least one of these two will begin to compete next fall. Don't worry, I didn't forget about Oklahoma City. The West champs shocked everyone this weekend by trading sixth man James Harden, but the trade may end in their favor. The Thunder received two prolific scorers in Kevin Martin and rookie Jeremy Lamb, plus 2 draft picks as they continue to build on last year's success. The main thing for OKC will be to distribute the ball evenly. Martin and Lamb are shooters, but they'll be joining the league's best in Kevin Durant. Russell Westbrook also takes a lot of shots, averaging 20 plus in the finals last year. Will he be willing to sacrifice? Time will tell as the Thunder begin their Western title defense. That's the show for this week, but I'll be back next Monday with more, and I've got my full NBA season preview in the last episode of Sports Check, so I'll put that in the description box below. Till next time, keep it locked on RandallSportsReport.com for all your Southern sports needs. I'm Seth Hagan, and that's your wrap-up for Week 9. Later.